turn.
What is Jingle Cats?
Oh. Well, now I'm going to have to fucking...
Now you have to play Jingle Cats.
Alright.
Was I around for this? Or
No.
is
Not
this
really.
that I wasn't.
No.
No, I mean like.
Jingle bell, jingle bell, jingle bell cat.
No, Chad, you were...
I don't care then.
The 1 week you, I think, just weren't here, and then the following time that it happened was after you left. So...
Oh, okay, gotcha.
So
Okay,
anyway,
gosh.
you guys want to just post that we're actually live because we're live and
We're live.
We're live!
Oh,
Oh, wait. We're saying
Log
that.
off.
It's a thing.
R.I.P. Dylan! Oh, wait, no. We're not on live yet.
R.I.P. Dylan
We
Miles.
actually are live.
Oh, shit.
We've been live for like
Dylan!
a minute or two.
Dylan doesn't like us anymore.
No, Dylan likes us. He's a good egg. He's a nice young man.
It's just for them Juggalo memes. R.I.P. Juggalo memes.
Juggalo cock.
Welcome to the Dead Air Horror and Genre Podcast.
And cock.
Mr. Pop.
Hey everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Dead Air Horror and Genre Podcast. I'm Jeff Konopka, and tonight I am joined by internet personality and bookseller extraordinaire, Mr. Jesse Bartell.
Yo, I'm really worried. My girlfriend's playing Animal Crossing in the other room, and it's been a couple of weeks now, and that's all she's been doing. And I feel like I can't pull her back from the abyss. She's just staring into the black waters of just abandonment. I'm scared.
Tom Nook ruining relationships and
That's
everybody's life since whenever that, like the 90s? Was it the 90s?
When was the first Animal Crossing? On GameCube?
I think it probably
DS?
was.
Because maybe you're thinking of like Harvest Moon.
I don't know. But anyway,
Alright.
Tom Nook is
Video
a fucking
games.
rapist and an asshole. And we also have Mr. Chad Young of The Horror Movie Barbecue.
Hey guys, I done went to Walmart today and I found me some random
Oh
things.
shit!
And,
You got Chuck Connors. Chuck Connors is on the radio.
How you boys doing? You boys doing okay?
How are you doing, Chuck?
I'm doing great. I done found Ric Flair and Bearish Bulldog and that Andre Giants and I found that Gold Dust. Gold Dust didn't come with his wig and he only came with his brush. I'm not done. And then I found Goldberg and Mr. Fuji and Manu.
Don't make
And,
me mute you, Chad, because I'll do it.
Wait.
And then I found Tatanka,
How's that morbid?
Hercules Fernandez.
All right, boys. So, thank you for tuning in. We're here tonight. You'll hear this Christmas music playing in the background. That's because we're going to be reviewing A Christmas Horror Story, which is a new movie, just came out on DVD and Blu-ray this past Tuesday. It is also available for rent on pretty much any of your streaming or VOD outlets for a fair price. So, we will be talking spoilers in this episode, but if you haven't watched the movie yet, you can still listen because we will save those for the very end of the show, and we will give you fair warning so that you can just turn off the podcast altogether at that point. Well, we're not going to do the thing where we just tell you to not listen for like 15 seconds while we spoil it. But if you're new to listening to this podcast, we usually record live on Friday nights on Google Hangouts, and you can always find those episodes usually anywhere between 9 o'clock and 10 o'clock is usually when we start, depending on life and other things. And you can always find that stream at deadairpodcast.net/live. And for all of our other back episodes, you can just go to deadairpodcast.net. And, if you use iTunes, we're on there. We're in a bunch of other places, but if you do use iTunes particularly, please leave us a review. That would be awesome. Hopefully a positive one. But we really appreciate that, and any other feedback that you want to send over, you can send to deadairhorrorpodcast@gmail.com. And actually, we have gotten a few emails. So apparently the month that we were off in October, people sent emails to the account. I didn't check because we were off.
What?
So I didn't notice it.
What did they say? They sent hate mail?
No, I will address that in a little bit
Berate
when we
mail?
get there. But if you want to send us
Touching
email, you can send it in, and we will read it on the show if you would like, or even if you don't like. I don't know.
MailChimp. MailChimp.
You can always send nudes to Jesse. He likes those.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's the spiel. Like I said, we get together once a week, usually talk about a bunch of stuff, including movies we've been watching, and then we review one particular movie that we have all seen that is fairly new. And pretty much for the rest of December, we're going to be doing Christmas stuff, although we may do Star Wars if we can all get to see it. But the problem is it comes out the week before Christmas, and we're taking the week of Christmas off because we all want to go and either do stuff with family or just get really drunk.
Because
of the holidays. It happens. So that week will probably be off, and I do not know most of the other movies that we're going to be reviewing at this point. So if there is a particular Christmas-themed genre movie of some sort, and I'm not talking like ask us to review Die Hard, because that's like, come on, we've already seen Die Hard. Die Hard's amazing. You really don't want to hear us
I've never seen
talk
it.
What are you talking about?
about
What's
Die
Die
Hard for like 4
I've never seen Die Hard ever, by the way.
Have you really
True
not?
story. No, I don't like Bruce Willis, so I don't really care.
Oh, come on, Chad. Now we're gonna just.
I just don't care.
Now I just want to watch Die Hard.
Yeah,
Dude, I don't
just
fucking
despite
care.
you.
But anyway, if there is a particular movie that's out there that possibly a few of us or all of us maybe haven't seen, and you want to tweet it to us, you can do that. Just use the hashtag #DeadAirPodcast, or you can just tweet at any of us, which I am at DeadAirJeff on Twitter. Jesse is at DestroySuperman, and Chad is at HorrorMovieBBQ.
I just changed mine to Freddy in Space, so any complaints you can just send over there.
R.I.P. John Squire's Twitter account.
R.I.P.
So yeah, we will take suggestions. We may put a poll out there, but we figured, fuck it, it's December. Like, let's do Christmas themed stuff. And this movie just happened to come out, and then next week, December 4th, we will be reviewing Krampus. Hopefully, as long as we can all see it on Thursday, which I think we are. So at the moment, that's the plan.
Every 28 days, I get Krampus, and I bleed.
And I'm very excited about that, and I really love the fact that they're releasing it on the 4th, because isn't like Krampus Day or Krampus Not, isn't that December 5th?
Sure, I don't know.
Sure.
Dumb Germans.
I think it actually is.
Hey, what have Germans ever done to us?
Well, didn't necessarily. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
I was being.
Well, the
I was making
Holocaust
a
never
joke.
happened, so I don't even know why you guys are upset.
Yeah, December 5th
You know
is
what?
Krampus.
I'm not
Krampus
the one that
Not.
said that, dude.
So, but we'll have more discussions about that, because Krampus is in like everybody's Christmas movies from here on out, I think, and he's in the movie we're going to talk about tonight as well. So there'll be those discussions. But I am very excited to see Krampus this upcoming week, because Trick or Treat is like one of my absolute favorite movies ever to be made, and the fact that Mike Dougherty made a Christmas horror movie makes me think that it's going to just be wonderful, at least to look at. Now, the one thing that surprised me about it so far, though, is I haven't heard all the internet backlash about the fact that it's PG-13.
I heard some of it, and I thought it was stupid.
Wait, it was PG. This movie was PG-13?
No, not the one we're talking about tonight. The actual Krampus that's coming out.
Oh, Krampus. Okay.
Because it's rated PG-13, and usually when there's a PG-13 horror movie, everybody and their mother seems to
themselves
complain.
of rage.
Yeah, they just get so angry, and I'm just like, it's just a rating. Like, it doesn't matter as long as the movie's good.
Yeah,
Like,
but they
do
want
you
everything
really-
to be extreme. They want to have every movie has to be martyrs.
Well, in that case, those people should just go watch Goodnight Mommy, and that's where I will leave that.
Extreme Freddie Mercury.
Next week, bro, I'm gonna watch it.
Yeah.
you're
That's a
not.
movie that I really probably only need to watch once ever. I would not recommend blind buying Goodnight Mommy to anybody. You can do that if you want to, but, I don't know.
I'm excited.
So anyway, that's the upcoming schedule, I think. And hey, it's Black Friday, and I'm wearing my garbage day shirt.
Whoa.
African American Friday.
Thank you, Jesse. I'm glad to see someone on here is not afraid to use their political correctness. Stop being offensive.
You know what? Fuck off. Bunch of whiners about everything. Everybody's angry. I don't really care because I'm home and I'm in a warm place and I'm talking to my friends and I have beer and caffeine right now and whiskey.
I got rum.
I've got whiskey as well, and I might get into that because I need to wake up. And here's a surprising fact that if I drink alcohol when I'm tired, eventually I get really tired and then start to fall asleep. But at first, I get really awake. And I think it might just be a dependency problem. I don't know at this point. Maybe I need help. But I don't care. I don't want help. I like alcohol. It's fun.
Leave me alone. I have a problem. I'm not gonna. First step's admitting I have a problem. Fuck that.
Well, first step is admitting that I might have one, but I don't care. So this is all of a sudden turning into the 12-step podcast.
Speak for yourself. I'm the only sober one.
It's true. It's true.
I'm straight edge, and I'm
but
better than all of you.
You're addicted to like men in underwear rolling around on top of each other in a ring. I mean, I realize they haven't classified that yet as a
Clash
addiction, but I would say it's kind of a sexual addiction that you have.
Sir, are you saying that the man of 1,000 holds, Dean Malenko, is gay?
Malenko, the great Malenko.
That's actually where they got the name for the album.
Is
Kid
it?
you not? Kid you not? Yes.
Fucking guy. Juggalo
I
cat.
just started. Oh fuck.
Juggalo cast.
We've had too
R.I.P.
many of those.
Dylan Lyles.
To the point where there are actually people out there. I don't know if Paul on Twitter, so Scooch Slam on Twitter, I don't know if he actually thinks that we like ICP because he put something up about ICP and he tagged a wrestler and he tagged me in it, and I was just like,
which wrestler did he tag?
like, I don't I don't remember, but I was just like I don't actually listen to ICP. At all. I mean, I think I once listened to that Santa Claus is a Fat Bitch song just because, like, the name sounded funny, and then I was like, this is actually really bad. The extent of my knowledge of ICP just comes from most of the jokes that we make, and then apparently people who listen to the podcast actually like ICP, which is fine. You're allowed to like whatever you want, obviously. I'm not a fascist.
Unless you're me, and then you start getting hate mail from everybody on the internet.
My girlfriend can rap some ICP lines, which makes me very nervous.
Does she sing
Put her
songs
on
about
right
having a car full of fat bitches?
Yep. And wearing makeup.
What?
You know, makeup. Clown paint.
Wait,
No, it's not.
Let's go. You want to go clowning?
Whoa.
Let's go clowning.
was your girlfriend
I
a
am
juggalette?
I don't know anymore.
What is going on?
What has Animal Crossing done to Gabby, Jesse?
It's very dark. It's been a very dark couple of weeks.
He's gonna walk into the living room, and it's like all dark except the TV, and it's like glowing, and all of a sudden he turns around and looks at Gabby, and she's just like in full juggalo makeup, and she starts rapping and like. And she's all like, "Yo, I'm a juggalo till fuck it, I don't know."
Down with the clown.
down until I'm dead in the ground.
Oh, Jesus.
I hung out with Alec Baldwin today.
That
No,
was
you didn't.
Yes,
I did.
I need to bring this back though to the fact that it's
Sorry.
Black Friday. So
Oh,
yesterday
yeah.
was Thanksgiving. So first off, I hope everybody had a wonderful Thanksgiving. And if you hate Thanksgiving, then I hope
Man, fuck your bird.
you had fun hating
You're a
Thanksgiving.
terrible Canadian.
Um, personally, I did my usual, which is went to my wife's family's house, hung out with my kid, ate a bunch of food, came home and watched Planes, Trains, and Automobiles and got drunk and then just cried at the end because that's what happens. Because that movie
Great
is
movie.
really funny until you get to like the last 10 minutes of it, and then it just like is like you see your feelings, you see your heart. I'm just gonna fucking rip it out of your chest and just stomp on it and just make you feel so awful and sad once you like realize that this whole thing was actually very sad. And it does that to me every time, and I'm just like tears in my eyes, and I'm just like, man, now I'm ruined for the rest of the night. And then I gotta go to bed, cry myself to sleep. R.I.P. John Candy. So that's what I did. Did either of you guys do anything fun for Thanksgiving?
No. Well, like I told you earlier, we went and we fed birds at the nature reserve, and that was fun. And then we ate. And then Gabby fell asleep on my lap when we watched Monty Python and the Holy Grail. And then we woke up and we had tea, and then we left my sister's house.
For some reason, I thought you were about to say you watched Money Train.
We watched Money Train. We watched that Juggalo movie.
What? What did you just say?
Western Rustlers. What is it?
Big Money, Big
Money Rustlers.
There's Big Money Hustlers, and then I think they did a sequel called like Big Money Rustlers.
Yeah, that's the Western one. No, we didn't watch that. And yeah, that's
this is coming from the guy who's like telling you everything that happened like in WWE and all these. You could probably tell me what happened on Ring of Honor last week, Chad.
Whoa! How the fuck do you know about Ring of Honor?
I know things.
I fell into a burning Ring of Honor.
Yeah, dude, I want to know how you know about Ring of Honor.
Because it's on TV at the gym sometimes.
Oh,
And
is it? And
it just
are you
looks like
watching them get all sweaty and
It looks like a very low rent version. And so it looks like somebody was like, "Yo, I want to take WWE and put it in my brother's like garage." I don't know.
That's exactly what it is. It's independent wrestling.
It looks pretty goofy, and I've seen it, and I'm aware that it exists.
It is.
I knew it would get a reaction out of you. It's mostly what it is.
Personally, I do not like fucking Ring of Honor. But you're interrupting Jesse, so shut up.
I think I don't know what else I had to say. I think I was done.
How about you, Chad?
Turkey Day 2015 was all right.
How was your Thanksgiving, Chad?
It was good.
Do we just catch you mid-cum?
Okay.
No, I guess.
I guess we can.
No, it was good. I mean, we ate. Lori dropped mashed potatoes on the floor, and they actually, for some reason, they went from the floor to the ceiling. It's a feeling I normally reserve for a sock filled with warm mashed potatoes.
So I thought you were gonna say Lori dropped mashed potatoes on the floor and then made me lick them up.
It was tempting. She makes damn good mashed potatoes.
She was like, "You will eat it, bitch.
Mm-hmm.
Eat it."
And you will
She
like
had me
it."
on a leash. She had me on a leash.
She's like, "Eat it out of my gash. Eat it out of my gash."
Oh my god!
Jesse, you took it too far.
Yeah, dude. Anyway,
You're on a leash.
Anyway, what? Anyway, I'm gonna remember this. Anyway, we watched Just Friends and Christmas Vacation, and started off the Christmas season right.
Right on.
So it was nice. It's really all you could ask for.
Wait, what did you watch? Just Friends?
Yeah.
That's a good movie.
Which honestly,
Ryan Reynolds in Fit.
Oh my gosh. Honestly, I would have never watched, just based off of the poster and the premise alone, if Lori hadn't sat me down to watch it a few years ago, I would have just been like, no, that's okay. I'm good. But honestly, I think it's one of the funniest movies I've seen of the past 10 years.
I like Ryan Reynolds. I got a
He's
man
very
crush on
likable.
Ryan.
No, he's alright.
He's a good-looking guy.
I
The
think
voices, though.
I think that I just honestly think he's a very good actor, and quite frankly, I think people don't give him enough credit just because he's better looking than most of us, or almost all of us, and so therefore they're like, wait, he's funny and likable, seems like he's nice, and has a six-pack of abs, and my girlfriend probably wants to fuck him, so therefore he's a talentless hack, and I don't want to watch his movies.
I want all his hair to fall out, him to gain a bunch of weight, and you know what? He'll still be likable, and he'll still be a great actor.
Yeah, I just really like him, and I think at some point in time, that dude, if he got the right role, man, I think he could honestly get like awards, like Academy Awards and shit.
I believe it.
So he was really good in Buried.
I liked him in, and I'm sure I'm the only one. I liked him in Green Lantern.
I didn't see that.
Yeah, I don't think I ever saw.
A lot of it pretty much. If you ask 99 or 100 people, 100 people are going to say it sucked. But
Well,
honestly,
and out of those 100 people, only like 10 of them saw it.
yeah.
Right?
So yeah, pretty much.
The internet is just full of anger and hate, like especially Facebook.
So much sadness.
Dude, I looked at Facebook a little bit yesterday and a little bit today, and everybody's just angry, and I'm just like, why does everybody have to just be angry on Facebook? And then I go over to Twitter and everybody's like making jokes about things, and there's the occasional complaint, but for some reason Facebook is all just people arguing. And like it's Thanksgiving and people will be posting up like things that they're thankful for, and then other people are like, "Fuck you, commercialized. You killed the Indians or Native Americans because that's offensive to say Indians." And it's just like, come on, people. Like I get it.
You just said it, so now you're going to jail.
Probably. I don't know. I say a lot of shit that probably makes people angry.
Oh yeah, you do. Can I say something real quick? Just can I rant just for a quick second?
Yeah,
and I'll get this over with. Internet yesterday was kind of nice to be on, or at least Facebook, because it was all like, hey, I am so thankful for this. I have this to be grateful for. And there was a lot of positivity going around. And as soon as I wake up, I'm checking Facebook, and all of a sudden I see, the people that are lining up, to do Black Friday, you guys are the reason that this country's going to hell, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, what? Are we only going to be, positive, like, on certain days? Like, Back to the Future Day, is that the only day we're going to be, everyone's going to get along, Thanksgiving, why can't we just have this all year fucking round? Like, it boggles my mind. I don't get it.
Because
like, as soon as... Well, I mean, as soon as we're done, as soon as, like, midnight struck, all of a sudden people were, holy crap, they were just ravenous about this, Black Friday. I mean, these Black Friday guys, they're not doing anything to anyone else. Well, who cares? Unless you're, like, fucking, shitting on someone's, car, you're not really doing anything. I'm done. I hate that, Facebook can be so positive and so happy sometimes, and then all of a sudden, it just goes right down the toilet.
I think the problem is that most of the people that are on my feed on Facebook are people that I actually know. Either because I went to school with them when I was growing up. You got all those lists, and I'm just like, man, I know a lot of people that are just assholes. Twitter is like people that I've never met, but I've been talking to on Twitter for however long, and I'm like, they're much nicer to me than everybody else. So maybe that's the problem. Maybe the problem is that we all just know a lot of people who suck.
Maybe. It doesn't make... I don't know. It gets kind of frustrating and kind of... It wears you out, and it's just... I don't know. I don't know. I don't get it. Like, why can't we just have fun for like one day and then, maybe try and continue that. And trust me, I'm very aware that I can be kind of a pain in the ass to deal with on Facebook. I know this, but it's just like it just went from one extreme to another, like within the span of like an hour.
That's just how it is. I mean, there was some funny shit that I saw going around on Twitter yesterday that was just because we're near the election season, so there was just all of the young people who were, supporting like Bernie Sanders, let's say, and then they're there with like their uncle or like grandparent who is like all about Donald Trump, and there's just like pictures of people and they're wearing their various political shirts, and the children are just like embarrassed to be standing anywhere near the person with the Donald Trump shirt. If Donald Trump is president of this country, I just don't even know. Like, I'm gonna have to move to Canada. I'm sorry.
He'll just yell at foreign leaders as like saying that they're crippled and stuff.
Yeah, I just at that point, like the entire country will have just turned into a parody. Like,
well, it already has. Let's be fair.
But enough about politics and all that other stuff. We're here to talk about movies. I don't think there was there like anything really worth noting that happened in the entertainment landscape this week?
There has.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What's that?
What is this, Chad?
The breaking news is reporting. Are you guys ready? Can you guys guess where I'm going?
No.
No idea.
Okay.
Oh.
Coca-Cola just.
Yep, here we go.
Oh, okay. I know where. Okay, go ahead.
They just renewed. Hold on, let me take a swig of water. Because I'm straight edge, bitch. They just it's been revealed that they renewed their their trademark for Ecto Cooler back in September, which is leading a lot of people to speculate that they're going to be bringing it back for the movie next year.
That makes sense. It's a good marketing ploy.
And I had kind of, and this was just my prediction, and I had blogged about it, I think, last year. Last year was the 30th anniversary of the first movie. I had always said if they weren't going to bring it back, for that, probably that they wouldn't bring it back at all, just because without a movie to kind of celebrate, it would just kind of be, here it is, But I think this is the perfect opportunity. I would love to see, like a new design. I wouldn't mind like a throwback package, like an exclusive to like Target or something like that. But I would love to see something box or something new. But this reveal is pretty big. A lot of people are getting excited about it. It hasn't been confirmed that it's coming back. It's only been kind of said that they renewed their trademark, but that's you're not going to trademark something, if you're not going to use it, I assume,
Well, they might if they just want to hold on to it, but it could be correct. I don't know. I wouldn't speculate too much further, just because it's the internet. So anyway, Ecto Cooler aside, so I make my own beer. Chad makes his own Ecto Cooler. So I guess we all just.
I don't make my own Ecto Cooler. I take it.
You have though.
No, I have not.
I thought you did.
I was going to do a video blog at the beginning of this year, where I kind of do a taste test and I make it and all that fun stuff, and I just never got around to it.
Okay. Well, anyway, I am drinking beer that I made myself, which is really good. So I don't know. I made it with New Zealand hops.
Yeah.
It kind of tastes like wine. Anyway, so talking about email that we got. So I'm gonna go ahead and read this because this came in back at the end of September. So we're now going on like 2 months ago. So apologies here, but this is from one of our listeners, Sam Hain. I don't know.
Sammy, I love Sam.
I think we've given him shout out on here before. Just because I think he got a hold of us on Facebook as well.
Awesome
David Blaine.
Yep. He's awesome to talk to on Twitter, too.
Yeah, so I haven't talked to him on there, but thank you for listening and sending this email from your iPhone because it says sent from my iPhone twice.
God damn it, Apple.
It says it twice. It's pretty
Hey,
awesome.
this is fucking Apple and their... Yeah.
But anyway, he says
Extra bullshit.
back in September, he said, "Hey guys, just wanted to write and let you guys know how much I love the podcast. I just got into podcasts a few weeks ago, and I listened to yours, Horror Sexy. Shout out to James Harris and Sean Savage, the Movie Crypt, and Purple Stuff, which is, I believe, Dinosaur Dracula, right?
Sexy armpit, yeah.
Yeah. And he says yours has become my favorite. Thank you." He says
that's
he's
nice.
way behind the rest of the world, so he just joined Facebook. That might be a bad thing, but congratulations. Sorry, maybe. I don't know. I guess it depends. But anyway, he says, no Twitter or whatever else is out there yet, but Chad just said he talks to him on Twitter, so I'm obviously...
Wait a minute, then it might be a different Sam Hain then.
I don't know.
Because there's a guy on on Twitter that he has some of the best conversations ever.
This was 2 months ago, Chad, so...
Okay, well, I'm just saying.
He says, are all of you guys bloggers? I know Chad is. I love Horror Movie Barbecue.
Oh, thank you.
So where can I find you on Facebook? And I believe he knows where our page is on Facebook at this point. I am not really a blogger. I used to be, but I kind of just do the podcast now. So that's pretty much where you can find me here. Although, hopefully, one of the things that I'm working on next year is getting a page set up, an actual site set up for the podcast where we could get places where if I want to write something, I can post it there, or like if Jesse wants to write something, he can post it there, or anybody else that we want to post stuff could go. So that could be fun. Jesse, you don't really blog, but you still write stuff, right?
Oh yeah, I still write, but most of the stuff I'm writing is stuff I'm working on otherwise to be published or whatnot. But I don't really blog on any blog. I have my Medium page, but I don't really all my writing time is spent on doing things that I can't necessarily just blog about, I guess.
Got that Nicolas Cage book, son.
I know.
Yeah.
Coming soon.
Literally.
Yep.
And he also says, keep it up, guys. I'll be listening to back episodes while you guys are off celebrating Halloween season. So cheers. Thank you, Sam.
Thanks, bruh.
Oh, I hope he's still listening.
And hopefully you are still listening in. Sorry, I was not ignoring your email. I just honestly did not log into this account at all really in October, or I guess October or November. So
That's
why
I was able to post pictures of Andre the Giant.
I will do that more to take a look at it. And I did get a funny piece of email today came in here. And this came from Michael Watson. And it says, the one true Christian faith. And it just says, are you familiar with this excellent traditional Catholic YouTube channel? And there's links to a YouTube site in a whole bunch of different languages. And then it just says, lots of tremendous eye-openers there regarding the utmost importance of Catholic dogma, the message of Fatima, the daily 15-decade Holy Rosary, the prophecies of Saint Malachi, anti-Pope Francis, Peter the Bishop of Rome, the counter-Catholic Church since 1958, and the very last days of the apocalypse, etc. So, thank you, Michael Watson, for sending me something that I have absolutely no interest in.
Thank you, sir.
Going to report it as spam, and I
we'll
just
move
thought
on with our day.
Funny that it came into this address this afternoon. And it's not because I think people shouldn't practice religion. You can do whatever you would like to do. It's mostly just because that was a very odd email to get. And I realize it's just spam, but Jesus. So, yeah, you can send us email if you would like to as well. If you're out there, we'll read it. Hopefully sooner. So, anyway, what else is going on tonight? Or do you guys just want to start talking about movies? Should we just start talking about movies?
Yeah, let's talk about movies.
All right. Well, in that case, let's take a really quick break, just so I can get situated here and pull
I
up
don't
the
want to.
stuff. Yes. Taking a break.
No.
Taking
Take a
Bruce
break
Lee
right
Roy.
now. You go take a break, Chad. Take a break.
I gotta break these nuts in your mouth.
So
Ew.
we'll be back in a few minutes, and we will start talking about movies that we've been watching. So hang out, don't go anywhere, and if you gotta go get a beer, now's the time to do it. Or you could listen to these amazing sounds.
In
Oh,
your
God.
face.
Oh, Extracast? Are we playing Extracast ad again? Because that would be great.
Meow, meow, meow.
Jesse, that's from Silent Night, Deadly Night.
Santa's watching, Santa's creeping, now you're nodding, now you're sleeping. Were you good for Mom and Dad? Santa knows if you've been bad. There might be a treat for you in Santa's bag of toys. But Christmas won't be fun and games for naughty girls and boys. Santa's watching, Santa's waiting, everybody's celebrating. Did you do your best this year? Too late now, for Santa's Santa's watching, Santa's creeping, now you're nodding, now you're sleeping. Were you good for Mom and Dad? Santa knows if you've been bad. There might be a treat for you in Santa's bag of toys. But Christmas won't be fun and games for naughty girls and boys. Santa's watching, Santa's waiting, everybody's celebrating. Did you do your best this year? Too late now, for Santa's
On Hollis Ave at the dark, when I seen a man chilling with his dog at the park, I approached him very slowly with my heart full of fear. Looked at his dog, oh my God, a ill reindeer. My man, I was feeling for the man had a beard and a bag full of goodies, 12 o'clock at night. So I turned my head a second and the man was gone. But he must have dropped his wallet smack down on the lawn. I picked the wallet up and then I took a pause, took out the lights and then it called that Santa Claus. $1 million in it cold, hundreds of G's. Enough to buy a phone magic car with ease, but I never feel for Santa, cause that ain't right. So I was going home to mail it back to him that night. But when I got home I thought, cause under the tree was a letter from Santa and the door's for me. It's Christmas time in Hollis, Queens. Mom's cooking chicken and collard greens, rice and stuffing macaroni and cheese, and Santa put gifts under Christmas trees. Decorate the house with lights at night. Snow's on the ground, snow white so bright. In the fireplace is the Yule log. Beneath the mistletoe as we drink eggnog. The rhymes that you hear are the rhymes of carols. Like each and every year we bust Christmas Christmas carols. Rhyme so loud and proud you hear it. It's Christmas time and we got the spirit. Jack Frost chillin', the hawk is out, and that's what Christmas is all about. The time is now, the place is here, and the whole wide world is filled with cheer. My name's DMC with the mic in my hand, and I'm chillin' and coolin' just like a snowman. So open your eyes, lend us an ear. We wanna say Merry Christmas and Happy New Year!
That backdoor Santa, though.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so we're back, and thanks for hanging out, listening to music. Put yourself in the Christmas spirit, because Run DMC. What's wrong? There's nothing wrong with a little bit of Run DMC. Jesse's got the inside track on that, too.
Yeah,
right?
man, let me tell you about Daryl McDaniels and his DMX stories.
I want to hear at least one of those. Come on.
Didn't I tell you a DMX story?
Did you?
I think I said it on the podcast at some point.
You might have.
But I told you about how they were filming like Exit Wounds, I think it was.
Yeah.
And then DMX was out like playing with like remote controlled planes and helicopters.
And they had to get one and put it on the set for him, right?
Yeah, they had to get a whole bunch and put him on the set for him, so he'd just be out there at like 6 o'clock in the morning with his gas-powered airplanes. He's fucking crazy.
All right. Well, this is usually the part where we talk about stuff that we've been watching. So I've got a bunch of stuff. I guess, Chad, do you want to start off with anything that you've been watching you want to talk about?
No.
Okay.
I honestly,
Are you podcasting from like your bathroom?
No, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay, that's better.
I was like, you sound like you're like taking a shit and like.
No, my mic was up, so. I'm trying to think of what I watched this week because I know I watched a couple things. Oh, I watched Spookies.
Did you actually watch Spookies? Are you
I
just
made it
trolling
halfway
me?
through? No, I am not trolling you. Okay, I got a good one. Shut up. Anyway, I watched Maniac Cop 2 for the first time on the suggestion of Jordan Guerin of B Movie Film Vault.
Uh-huh.
I'm sorry, the B Movie Vault, or no, it is B Movie Film Vault, whatever.
Yeah, no, it is.
To be honest with you, I didn't like the first Maniac Cop, so I was just like expecting this to be shit too. But, a few years ago it was like a few years ago he was like, yeah, you got to check this out. It's much better than the first one because the first one was kind of lame. This one was a lot better, and I'm kind of happy I saw it.
Is that the one that has the rap in it? There's like a Maniac Cop rap song. I can't remember if it was in part 2 or part 3.
Sure, why not?
Okay.
I don't remember.
Chad's like, I wasn't really watching it. I was mostly just jacking off.
I was jacking off to Robert Zadar.
R.I.P.
R.I.P. Robert Zadar and his chin.
Yeah.
Oh, that chin.
And the other thing I watched, which I am not a Star Trek fan, but I found this very, very interesting because I like documentaries on like the behind the scenes of TV shows and movies and how they get made and the process. There was a Star Trek: The Next Generation documentary on Netflix. It's called William Shatner's Chaos on the Bridge. And it just kind of explains on the history of how Star Trek: The Next Generation became what it became, and like the first season or the first couple seasons, and it just talks about how it became, so, they didn't really go into like, the fans, perception of it, but they just kind of stuck with behind the scenes, and there were a lot of cool stories, and for someone like me who doesn't give a shit about this stuff, it was really fun to watch. So,
That was a real powerful movement in like the Star Trek
Mm.
universe. Like even I'm not into Star Trek necessarily. I really liked the Next Generation with
Mhm.
Patrick Stewart. I thought that was a pretty good TV series, and partly I liked it because mostly I grew up with it.
Mhm.
And I thought the new movies were pretty cool. But
Oh, Jesse, you just really want to bang
Chris Pine.
Uhura.
Jonathan
That
Frakes,
lieutenant, though.
Yeah, I know.
Uhuru.
Sexy.
But there's a really sort of strong emotional attachment people have to Star Trek that I find really
Oh,
endearing.
absolutely.
There's
Absolutely.
I mean, you see it a lot too with like Star Wars. You see it a lot with big genre type franchises. But Star Wars and Star Trek in particular, like there's a very loving atmosphere about it.
Isn't there like some weird, intense rivalry between the two, though? With like,
There used to be. It's not so much anymore. Not ever since Doctor Who came into be popular again. I think that before it was just, oh, well, Star Wars is better, Star Trek is better. It was just one of those things, and it was pretty fucking stupid. And I was on the side of Star Wars, and I still thought it was the dumbest argument one could ever get into. So
Yeah,
okay.
definitely a dumb argument. Star Wars is better.
and this is fact. This is completely true. But no, Jesse has a good point. There is that connection, and honestly, personally, if you were to ask me, what if I was to sit and watch, something Star Trek, I would probably end up saying, oh yeah, no, I'll totally watch Star Trek Next Generation, just because, they had much cooler kind of storylines and stuff like that. So.
So would you recommend the documentary though to just like anybody?
Yeah.
Like should I watch it even though I really? So I'll be honest.
Mhm.
I'm not. I've seen a few of the old Star Trek movies. I kind of like the one that a lot of people I think hate, which is the one where they go to like San Francisco
with the whales.
The whales.
Like I kind of like that one.
Listen, bro, that is not as bad as like the fucking fifth one where they like William Shatner, who wrote the script, like he meets God.
Oh Jesus.
But wasn't it even revealed that, didn't someone say, oh, you can't find God, God is within you, or something like that? Wasn't that kind of...
It's basically like one big, like he's just jerking off the whole movie so that, like, he thinks he can meet God. And that's, like, it's like an ego stroke. Like, that's all it is, that whole movie. Part 5 is a nightmare. The whale one's not as bad as, like, compared to that one. It's not the best one, but it's, like, it's okay.
I just remember it being one of the only. So my dad used to watch those movies, and every time I looked at them, I was like, "This just feels really serious all the time." And then I watched the part 4. I think it was the Voyage Home, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, "Hey, there's jokes in here, like the people with the boombox, the punks on the subway or the train or whatever." And like, I was just like, "All right, like this is all right." But yeah. That was the only one that I really remember seeing, and then I do like the new J.J. Abrams movies as well because they felt more like Star Wars movies.
Yeah, they're fun. People love to hate on those movies. They also love to really hate on Into Darkness, but like that movie's
not bad.
It's not bad. I mean, it's kind of a mess, but it's like it's still super fun, and Benedict Cumberbatch is fucking jumping on.
But that's
like,
the thing, like
floating vehicles.
A lot of the people that I heard complaining about it were like, well, it's because they were like, oh no, Khan's not in the movie, and then he's Khan, and that's supposed to be the shocker, but it's not really a shocker. And then they reversed the thing from the actual movie, and I'm like, I don't really care. Like, I just wanted to watch a movie that was entertaining.
I heard more people, say the same thing. Yeah, I heard more people say the same thing. Oh yeah, I didn't grow up loving Star Trek, but that was a really great movie. And Lori, she doesn't give two shits about Star Wars or Star Trek, and she really enjoyed it too. So it was definitely one of those movies that I think brought a lot of people together and were able to give Star Trek a new audience that would have never watched it, because in their mind they were probably like thinking, oh my gosh, this is all just stupid geek shit, and
Plus,
they're right, but it still means something to those geeks.
Plus,
that
I'm not gonna lie. It's got Alice Eve in her underwear, and for
Oh,
me,
shit.
that's like that's the good stuff. Although everybody was
Mhm.
angry about that too, because they're like, "Yo, they just brought her in. They don't need to have girl in her underwear shot in a Star Trek movie." And I'm like, "Why not?"
If you go back and watch the original series, Captain Kirk had sex with a lot of women, so I don't really think that's a really good argument.
Well,
Just
wasn't the
saying.
original series only like it was super
3.
short, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was only like 3 seasons, but if I only know this because I tried to get into Star Trek before, and it didn't do anything for me.
Was that
But-
when you were like, "Yo, I gotta move on from these Transformers, so maybe I'll get into
not
Star
really.
Trek"?
Yeah, no, well, sure, why not? But honestly, they've apparently been trying to do like even from yeah. So anyway, from like the second it went off the air, they were trying to like reboot it into a couple TV series, I think, and like a couple movies, before they got that first one. So I mean, it's a very fascinating story altogether. If you go and like read, how from beginning to of the '60s series to even now, which I guess they're doing a new series, which maybe I'll check out. I don't know, but so
All right,
there's that.
cool. Anything else?
But yeah, no. To answer your question, I would totally recommend it. Nothing else. I watched, like I said, Christmas Vacation, which is a very long tradition of mine. I always watch it on Thanksgiving night after dinner. Always have to watch it. I don't really have a lot of traditions outside of like watching Charlie Brown. So like this is one of the few traditions that I always have to keep up. So
Right.
that was it.
All right. Cool.
Mhm.
Jesse.
I forgot to mention this last week, and I don't really have much to say about it, but I did see Tales of Halloween.
Oh.
What'd you think?
And it was okay.
Mhm.
That's all I have to really say. No, I
It's funny though, isn't it? Like how that happens. I don't like. I heard all these people going on about how awesome it was, and then I watched it and I was like, it's a movie. It's okay, but like,
well,
come on, guys.
okay, so like, so this might come up again tonight, but like,
It's gonna. I already know kind of where
yes.
you're going.
Mhm.
but
it's gonna.
like the problem I have with a lot of anthologies, like what a lot of anthology directors or anthology creators, if it's a group or it's one person, what they miss out on is that anthologies should be stories that are that have sort of they're almost like parables, right? And they should have a real like moral backbone that kind of comes full circle at the end. And the best anthologies, for me, are the ones that do have that sort of parable-like nature to it, and that at the end of the story they have something to say that has a little meaning to it. And like Tales of Halloween, yeah, like there's a bunch of really cool, cool stories, and there's great effects, but none of them really have much to say, and that's where I kind of get lost. And like they are sort of connected in some ways, in very, very small ways.
Yeah, well, that's the thing.
And they have what's her face as the radio announcer, kind of like with this movie. But
Adrian Barbeau. She was good.
yeah, she was good, and
She would probably be my pick for the highlight.
yeah, for sure. But that is sort of the connective tissue, right? That's what's bringing them all together, and I can sit there and be like, well, these are a bunch of these are really cool short stories, but what do they actually mean? What are their actual impressions on me as a viewer? Other than that was interesting, is not, I walk away with not, like half a tank of gas basically. But I can't necessarily dismiss it either, because there is a lot of talent that was put in there, and there is some really clever stuff and really interesting things. I like the ones that were weirder, that tried to be weirder than obviously that was meant for that collection of stories. And it's good. It's good for sure, but I don't love it because it is missing that sort of that resonance in the end for me.
I think there's a few things about it. So number one, it's almost impossible honestly, like if we're all just going to be honest here, it's almost impossible to watch that movie and not draw some sort of comparison to Trick or Treat, right? Like just because Halloween, anthology, yada yada yada, and that's kind of a handicap right from the beginning because Trick or Treat is just so fucking good. And when I say that, I mean it does everything so well. And I feel like a lot of the movies that we get recently, like the anthologies, and how they want to tie everything together into like one town or one universe or one storyline that all pays off. Like I feel like a lot of that is more based off of Trick or Treat because it did that and it did it really so well, whereas like a lot of the older anthologies used to just have a wraparound and it would be like a person who's like, look at this story. You know what I mean?
Like Tales from the Crypt.
Yeah, and you know, and that worked. I mean, it worked really well for Tales from the Crypt, and that was obviously kind of harkening back to the EC comics that it was based on, and Creepshow is probably the example of, for me, what I really like in those type of anthologies, which is just, hey, these are all just like kind of like Jesse was saying. Like, I mean, they all have that formula of somebody does something bad and then they get it in the end, right? Like there's a moral thing to that, and Trick or Treat, you know, it had that backbone, not necessarily a moral backbone, but the whole point of that was just like, yo, fucking don't fuck with Halloween, like, you know what I mean? And it did it so well, and it was funny, and it was fun, and it was really cool to look at, and it's just like, it's just one of those things where you look at it and you really get that Halloween spirit. And it just works, and it's got a high energy level, and everything is cohesive, and you can rewatch it, and you notice all this other cool stuff. Whereas for Tales of Halloween, I almost just felt like, I was like, this is just like, feels like a bunch of people that were friends that were like, yo, I like Halloween, you like Halloween, let's make an anthology film where we can do a whole bunch of stuff and talk about how we like Halloween. And other than that, it didn't really feel like it felt very loosely connected, but it felt like they were trying to force a connection in there. You know what I mean? And it's like, it doesn't have to be connected. It could have just been like, hey, here's a town and this stuff is happening, and we don't really need to try to throw in the callbacks, and especially when some of them are only like 5 minutes long, right? Like they're really short. And there was like, what, like, was it 15 different stories in there?
I don't remember the exact number, but yeah,
it was a large number.
It was a handful, yeah.
And for an anthology to work, you really kind of have to be like, you know, like 4 or 5, including the wraparound, in my opinion. You know, and it's kind of the problem I've had with the VHS movies too. Like they just don't work for me because they try to force in the wraparound. VHS 2 is kind of the outlier in there, where I still think the wraparound sucks for that movie, but I think VHS 2 is a fucking great movie otherwise. But it's
well, you got that cult story is worth it alone.
Well, that one's worth it alone, and even like Adam Wingard's is like creepy.
Which one? Wait, which one's his?
He did the eyeball one at the beginning with the ghosts, like creepy molesting like uncle and shit, and like it worked for me. Like all of the stories in that particular, and then Jason Eisner's one with the aliens.
Yep.
Like that really worked for me, and that one was a good one. But again, like, you know, I guess it's kind of hard, and it's also not fair because I mean I realize trying to compare any of these anthologies to Trick or Treat at this point is just like, it's just kind of not fair. But I can't help but do it, especially when it's so close in there. But I mean, Tales of Halloween looked really cool. There was some good stuff in it. But at the end of the day, I mean, I think like Jesse said, I felt like half satisfied, but then also felt half like it's just like a whole bunch of, hey, look who we got to be in here.
Yeah.
There weren't a lot of big stars in this, though. So.
No, well, there wasn't a lot of big stars, but you had like that party where it's like Stuart Gordon and Mick Garris.
Yeah, Mick Garris is there.
And all of these people, like Barbara Crampton, and they're all just like, and it's like, okay, like, I get it.
I did like when Adam Green showed up as a cop, though. That was
yeah. Well, and that's the thing is like, but then they like, to do that tie-in thing to force it in there, and then they have those characters kind of show up in other places, and it's like, I don't know. Like, I just feel like that seems to be the thing, and we will be talking about that later. But it seems like the thing that everybody wants to do with these now, and I don't necessarily think that you have to do that. Like, I kind of miss
Nope.
the whole like, hey, it's just like a fucking comic book where
Mhm.
you're just flipping it, and hey, here's another story. You know?
I don't really mind them being unconnected. Like Creepshow
Yeah,
is
exactly.
one of my all-time favorite movies. I love that movie. I think it's a flawless movie, but honestly, I just think that if you're doing like a 90-minute movie and you're doing 15 stories, you have to make them count. And in the case of what's the ABCs of Death, I get that like a well, and they're kind of similar because you've got all those stories and you've got time constraints. But with Halloween stories, Tales of Halloween. I'm sorry, my bad. With that, I just thought that a lot of them were just like you guys are saying, like, hey, this is Halloween. This is what could happen. It didn't really do anything to make the movie memorable. I don't think that it really did anything to make that movie desirable for fans. Maybe that's just me. I don't really think that there was a lot to separate it from a VHS or anything else that's come out.
Yeah, and I mean, a lot of people liked it, and that's fine. Like, if you like it, like,
Cool.
I'm glad you like
Yeah.
it. That's cool. And it's not that I don't like it. It's just that I feel like I didn't really like it. Like, I don't feel like it's something. Maybe I'll add it to my October rotation. Maybe I just need to watch it again at some point. Maybe I was expecting too much. I don't know. But when I watched it, when I rented it and watched it, I was just kind of like, I don't know. I didn't really get the fun that I was expecting out of it, and I don't know. I guess it's difficult. Maybe I just had unfair expectations.
And that's another thing is I feel like anthology movies, and maybe I'm just because I love anthology movies so much. I feel like anthology movies, every story should be different, or and they should be most importantly fun. It didn't really feel fun. It felt average.
Exactly, and I mean, a lot of people give me shit on this, but I think Creepshow 2 is almost better than the first one, as far as that goes. Just because, I mean, I really like Creepshow, but I feel like Creepshow is like a little bit too long sometimes, and it kind of has a pacing issue.
Fair enough.
But I feel like Creepshow 2 is like they like shortened everything and made everything like way nastier and way more pulpy in a way. I mean, I kind of miss some of the comic book transitions that they had in there, but
I love the comic book transitions they have. Oh, those were great.
yeah, and that's like the best thing about it for the
Baby
first
Joe
Creepshow
Hill.
to me.
Mm-hmm.
But either way, I get it, and I see where you're coming from, and I think I'm on that wavelength with you, but it just seems like I almost feel like we may possibly be in the minority on that one, but
Perhaps.
it's all good.
But yeah, I don't hate it for sure. I just
I hope they
good.
make
There's a
another
lot of
one.
talent. There's a lot of talent in there, and there are moments that are really really good. But like for it to resonate with me, it just can't because it is missing that very essential part of the formula in that it has to actually mean something. It has to say something, and it doesn't.
It doesn't say anything. It just
No, it
says,
doesn't.
"Hey, Halloween is
Mhm.
cool," and that's about it. Whereas, like I said, at least Trick or Treat was like, "Yo, there's rules."
Mm-hmm.
Like that was the whole thing of it. It was like there are rules, and if you break these rules, stuff
You
happens.
suck.
And that was really cool, and they managed to wrap it up, and they, that movie is kind of like the Pulp Fiction of horror Halloween anthologies. It's just like such a weird thing that it just works, and you could tell Michael Dougherty spent a lot of time thinking about that. And I guess we'll at this point get to see how he deals with the stuff when he does Krampus, which is not an anthology. So I'm wondering, and I feel like a lot of people are expecting it to be for Christmas what Trick or Treat was for Halloween, and I don't know if that's necessarily going to be the case.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because it's it's one story from what I can tell, and I'm fine with that. Like, I think that guy's got a great visual sense, and he likes a lot of weird stuff, and he's a really good writer. So,
Mhm.
I have been reading the comic book that came out this week, the graphic novel, whatever you want to call it.
There's only
it was-
one of the stories in there that I just didn't really care for, but the rest are
Krampus
really.
one.
Oh, sorry, not the Krampus one. I'm sorry.
Oh,
I'm
I was
thinking
talking about the Krampus one.
Oh, sorry, no, it's the Trick or Treat one. I'm sorry.
It was like Krampus Shadow of the Demon or something like that.
Yeah, is that any good? I meant to order one for the store.
I like it. So I would recommend people check it out. I think it's pretty cool. It's pretty much along the same lines as the Trick or Treat one that came out last month, I guess it was, right?
Mhm.
October.
Mhm.
So yeah, people should check that out. But if the movie has any kind of the through lines of that, then I guess it'll work. So I'm still really excited about that, and I still like anthologies. I just feel like that it feels like there are a lot of anthologies that come out that are just not good. And
Yeah, I agree.
and I think Tales of Halloween is okay, but it's not one that I would be like, this movie is amazing and everybody needs to watch it. So anyway, anything else, Jesse? Or?
No, that's about. Yeah, that's really. I haven't had time to watch anything else, but but Mommy, I'm gonna watch that movie,
What is it?
the Mommy movie.
Oh, Good Night, Mommy.
Yeah, Good Night, Mommy.
Yeah, it just
On Tuesday.
just don't watch it with your girlfriend.
Yeah, no. I mean, she's really built up a tolerance to horror movies and actually
No.
has indulged in liking them. But I know for sure that this is one that.
No, it really and I'm not gonna go into it because I don't want to ruin anything for you. But there's like a tonal shift in there that is like Martyr's kind of tonal shift.
Oh boy.
And it's very abrupt, and it's kind of part of the problem with it. Like it's one of those things where I hear all these people being like, oh, top 10 of the year, and I'm like, it looks really pretty in a lot of ways, and it's a well-made movie, and it's messed up, but the trailer is not what the movie is.
No, sure.
The trailer
figured
sells
as
the
much.
movie as like a scary fucking movie, and the movie's not scary at all. Like, it's just not scary. It is just messed up. And yeah, you'll see. I mean, I await your opinion next week when we discuss movies.
Yeah, but I'm excited to check it out because it seems sort of weird and interesting, and I like those types of movies. So
It's something.
yeah, sure.
And by the time you get to the end, you're just gonna be like, oh. We had several people walk out of the theater during the last 15, 20 minutes of the movie. When I was there and saw it. I saw it at the Little Theater in Rochester. Here.
Yes.
So excited.
Love it.
So you had all the art house people that were there because they're like, oh, this movie has subtitles and it's an art house movie. I will go to see this. It's the same thing that we get when you go to the Dryden sometimes, and there's just the old people, and they have a membership there, so they go and see anything that comes there because they're like, this must be cinema and film, and it's like, well, they don't necessarily so one of the stories I always tell people about that is Audition, the Takashi movie.
Yes.
So back in 1999 or 2000, I don't remember which one it was, but it was before the movie was available here in the US on DVD without getting an import, right? And it was the curator's choice at the Dryden Theater, which is for the Eastman House. So Kodak, George Eastman. The Eastman House is obviously it's a kind of a museum out here for film, and they do a lot of archival stuff. And the Dryden Theater is an old one-screen theater that they have where they show a lot of 35 millimeter films, and our friend Justin LaLiberty used to actually do projection stuff there. And they have a lot of film school students and whatnot that help to run the place, and it's really cool because you get to see a lot of cool stuff there. Sometimes there's Definitely a lot of other stuff that's kind of like hoity-toity art house stuff. Occasionally they do really cool stuff for genre movies, like they did the Cronenberg retrospective and some other things. But you do get this crowd that's just like these older people that are members, and they just go to everything. And this movie, especially being the curator's choice, you had a pretty full audience of people, and especially if you've ever seen Audition, you know very much that it's one of those movies where the first 2/3 of the movie are like kind of one thing, and then you get a few hints that something is not quite right, but then you get to the last third of the movie and it's all just brutal torture stuff. And I kid you not, like when, dude wakes up and she's putting on those rubber gloves, like, and stuff starts to go down, like a quarter of the fucking audience just like got up and walked out of the theater. Like, I have not seen that many walkouts ever in a movie. And to this day, it's still like, I kind of knew something was coming because I'd seen some of that dude's other stuff at the time, and I was like, that guy's a weirdo. And yeah, these people were not ready for that. And there was definitely some of that going on at Goodnight Mommy. Not to that extent, of course, because it was, I think more people knew kind of what they were getting into, but it's it gets pretty crazy. So we will discuss next week, I guess.
Oh yeah.
At some point. So all right, cool. Well, I got a bunch of stuff. I'll try to keep most of this pretty brief. So first off, you guys are really lucky that we didn't do another poll this week, because the movies that came out on VOD that I was like, hey, these are ones that we could probably put out there for people to vote on. I watched them, and they're fucking terrible, both of them. One of them is called Wrecker. And it is essentially about these two girls that are taking a trip in their car to go to some place to go hang out with these people for, I don't know if it's a party or what. The whole thing is that this one girl's boyfriend like cheated on her, and the other girl's like, yo, we don't hang out anymore. Woo! Let's get drunk while we're driving and smoke weed and be crazy. And of course, they piss off a dude driving a truck. Like a fucking semi, so think Joyride, right? Which is actually like a really good movie in my opinion. Fucking Ted Levine doing the voice, that's crazy.
R.I.P. Buffalo Bill.
Yeah, exactly. But Wrecker is basically kind of trying to be a mix between that and Duel, where basically this dude is fucking with them and chasing them down and doing all this stuff, and it's just a really fucking boring movie. It's super predictable. There are maybe a couple things in there that are kind of alright, but most of the movie is just dumb and boring.
It sounds dumb and boring. I'm falling asleep just hearing it.
So don't watch it. And the other one, oh my god, the other one was a movie that just came out on VOD last week. It's called #Horror.
Oh yeah.
I believe this one came from IFC Midnight, which means it's going to be coming out probably on Blu-ray from Scream Factory. And I'm just going to tell all you Scream Factory completists out there, I'm sorry in advance, because if you buy this just so you can have it on your shelf, this is one of the worst movies I've seen this year. This movie may be worse than The Gallows.
Oh.
That's saying a lot, because this movie is really fucking terrible. It is legitimately, so like there's a bunch of people, it's like Timothy Hutton for some reason is in this movie.
Alright, I'm listening. And like Chloe
Savini
no.
shows up. That chick who plays Pencil Tucky or whatever from Orange is the New Black shows up at like an AA meeting. But this movie is essentially about a group of teenage girls. Like, when I say teenage, I mean like fucking really like 13. Like, young ass.
Jesse.
That are getting together to have this party. Oh, and fucking what's her name? Natasha Lyonne,
John Lovitz.
right? She's in this. And she's like the mother of this girl, and she's driving her over there, and this girl's all embarrassed because they don't have money, and she's going to hang out with her rich friends. And she gets there, and all they're doing is they're just a bunch of fucking mean-ass bitches who just talk shit about each other on the internet and fucking bully each other. And I'm not kidding you, this movie's like an hour and 40 minutes long. In an hour and 20 minutes of that hour and 40-minute runtime is just these girls hanging out in a house being mean to each other. And with weird interspersal things of just the most awful computer graphics trying to kind of simulate the worst tendencies of apps, like Candy Crush type bullshit. Where there's just shit coming up and popping up on the screen and making noises and nothing really happens at all. Like somebody gets killed at the beginning of the movie, and then nothing really happens, and then for like the last 20 minutes, all of a sudden, they're killing all these girls. And they're kind of like the whole message of the movie is just kind of like, hey, teenagers are fucking terrible, and technology is bad. And it's like, okay, well, maybe that's true to an extent, but Jesus Christ, like Unfriended did this kind of thing and actually made a
Probably
good movie.
Probably 1,000 times better.
Yeah, exactly. And hashtag horror is neither fun nor anything that's worth seriously contemplating, and it is not worth watching, ever. It is especially not worth spending $7 to rent it on VOD, which is what I did, and I should not have done.
But first off, the title is called hashtag horror.
I know. Hey, dude,
Okay.
do you know how fucking
really
difficult it was to search that out, too, when I'm trying to, like, fucking find the movie?
Well, whose fault is this?
Because I'm trying to, like, type it in, and nothing was, like, it wasn't understanding the hashtag in the search.
No, yeah, I tried the same thing.
Yeah,
it won't read it.
And I don't understand why they named it that, because for a movie that you're going to roll out in VOD, like, I had to finally type in horror, and then it just fucking comes up with a billion things, and then you got to kind of find it in there. So first off, fail on their part to do that, and then second off, Jesus Christ, this fucking movie's bad. I gave it a 0.5 star out of 5.
That sounds like you're being generous.
Probably was, but you guys are lucky that we didn't have to vote between those two, because either one of them would have been just, God. No. Yeah, no. I mean, the only part about it that was worth watching was Timothy Hutton, like, seriously screaming at a bunch of 13-year-old girls, looking like he was about ready to beat the ever-loving shit out of them because they were bullying his daughter. Like, Timothy Hutton really looked like, because he's a pretty good actor, and he looked like he was really about to just fucking wail on these girls, and these girls looked terrified in real life.
He was just mad at his career.
Probably.
Yeah, most likely.
I like Timothy Hutton.
That dark
I think we all do.
I know.
We should.
So yeah, those movies, no, don't watch those. And then I also went to the theater a few times this week, and I saw Creed, which is not about.
Everyone
knows how much I love Creed.
And to my surprise, it wasn't. It was not just Scott Stapp on a stage screaming at people to give him money. Obviously, the new. I mean, it's basically the new Rocky movie, and it's funny because wasn't everybody, when they announced that they were going to do the Creed spinoff, wasn't everybody like talking shit about it and being like, "That's such a terrible idea. Why would you do that?" And now everybody's just shitting their pants over this movie because it's good.
Yep.
Like, I'm not kidding you. Like, and they're not wrong. It's a really, really good movie. Like, really good movie. And it basically, I think one of the most apt tweets that I saw, I don't remember who put it out there on Twitter, but somebody on my Twitter feed said, they're like, Creed just walked in and said, "Hey, what's up, Southpaw?" Because Southpaw is kind of not really, like, it's all right, but it's it is trying to do the same thing that Creed is doing, and Creed just does it amazingly and has this super emotional through line. And if you are a fan of the Rocky series at all, like it is a very good wrap up of that series and transitions it over so that they could have a whole new series, which is obviously what they're doing because I guess they already greenlit like 2 sequels to it. But it's
money, though.
well worth your money. I mean, Michael B. Jordan is fucking awesome. Like, I really like that dude. He's good in a lot of stuff. And I had faith in this project as soon as I heard that Ryan Coogler was directing it, and he did Fruitvale Station. And, well, I don't think that movie is as amazing as a lot of other people do. I think it was a very, very, very well-made movie.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's just the subject matter is just really kind of hard to deal with because it's terrible in a lot of ways. And I don't mean terrible as in like artistically, I mean terrible as in like real life is awful. So, but he did a really good job with this, and Sylvester Stallone gives like one of the best performances he's ever given in this movie as, you know, just washed up Rocky. So think back to, you know, Rocky Balboa. And I think my tweet that I summed up when I was kind of putting my opinion out there, and I still stand by this, is that Creed is pretty much hits all of the beats that your stereotypical sports movie does, and there's nothing in there that was surprising, but it's really fucking good. You know what I mean? It's like one of those movies where you're not surprised, you can see everything coming, but it's still satisfying.
Because it's just executed well.
Yeah, it's just well done, and it's funny, and there's a lot of like jokey callbacks to a lot of the other Rocky movies. So if you're a big fan of those movies and you've seen them all, there's a lot of callbacks to it, but it's fun, and the cast is really good. And especially the girl who plays, I don't remember her name off the top of my head, but she plays the love interest in the movie, and she is the girl who was also in Dear White People, and she was really good in that movie, and she's just great here. So between her and, you know, you got Rocky, or not Rocky, but Sylvester Stallone and Michael B. Jordan, and you know, they always, one thing that I think they've done that's smart in the last few of these Rocky films is for the boxers that they put them up against, like they get actual boxers. And so the boxing scenes are actually really good. And I think the only thing about Southpaw that was really good was the boxing matches that were in it, and Jake Gyllenhaal. But this movie has, like, the storyline is good, and it's not just this horrible, like, oh, look at you fucked your life up thing. It says a lot about, like, legacy and kind of standing in the shadows of, I don't know, either your parents or your family, right? And trying to make a name for yourself and not be just known as that person who's related to this other person. So, yeah, I recommend it. I think people should check it out for sure. It's totally worth your time and money, and I'm really glad that everybody seems to be watching it and liking it. And also saw another movie that came out this week called Victor Frankenstein.
Oh yeah.
Which we briefly talked about whether or not we should review on the podcast, and I'm just gonna put this out there, Chad, you would have fucking hated this movie with a passion. I did not like it. I think it is okay, but being okay is not a sign of success, right?
Critically and financially.
Yeah, well, apparently it's doing really horribly at the theater. Like, I think they said something like $40 million on it, and they said they're going to be lucky if they pull in 7 this weekend, which doesn't surprise me because, A, fucking Hunger Games is still out there dominating the box office. Creed is doing really well. Where the fuck did they ever really advertise Victor Frankenstein besides some posters?
I saw them on the Andy Cohen show. That's about it.
And it's like Daniel Radcliffe is really good in the movie, although like for like the first part of it, he's just running around looking like a hunchback version of Robert Smith from The Cure, complete with like fucking white face paint on and shit. And this fucking James McAvoy is just like ridiculous, and he's just like hamming it up for the camera and everything. and he's all right, and I don't think anybody is really bad in the movie. It's just too long. It's almost 2 hours, and it's just really like there's some good practical effects and stuff, but the movie's just really boring. Like the first half hour, 45 minutes of the movie are actually pretty fun, and then it just gets really boring, and then Frankenstein's monster shows up in like the last 10 minutes, and it's not anything that's actually, number one, it's all predictable, and then number two, it's just not anything that's really I don't know, it didn't have my attention, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think that I could in good conscience actually recommend that anybody watch it.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you can go rent it, but it's not as bad as Dracula Untold, and I'm a little bit confused.
That was my. Oh yeah, because of the Universal Monster Universe.
Well, it's the Universal Monster Universe, but this movie came out from 20th Century Fox.
Okay.
So I don't know if it's not part of it.
I would think the Frankenstein license is probably public domain.
Well, yeah, for sure. And that's what I'm like. I'm not sure if it's supposed to be part of that universe or not.
Well, they need to clear that shit up is what they need to do.
Like, I'm really not sure because, they obviously set it up at the end where they could have a sequel.
Okay.
Because this is kind of like the prequel. Like, this is how, like, Frankenstein hooked up with Igor. Igor being Daniel Radcliffe, who's not actually a hunchback and used to work at the circus because he was being held captive there.
Uh-huh.
And is in love with a trapeze artist who almost kills herself. But Igor is actually the fucking smart one who figures out how to like bring people back to life. It's not actually Frankenstein. Frankenstein is just a crazy motherfucker who likes to get drunk. So, I don't know. And the thing that fucking I completely forgot that Max Landis wrote this movie.
He did.
And when I saw his name come up at the end where it was like story and screenplay by Max Landis, and I was like, okay, I could see a couple things in there, maybe. But I was just kind of like, damn, dude, like I've liked a lot of the other stuff that you've written recently, but not this fucking movie. Like American Ultra was fantastic. I really loved it. And then I saw this and I was like, Jesus. So I think at the end of the day, I gave it like a 5 out of 10, right? So it's like just mediocre. Like I would watch it, but I don't think I would watch it again. But I guess, based off of that, if it sounds like a movie that you want to watch, then go watch it. If not, then fuck it. So yeah.
You know what the biggest sin of the band Creed is?
What's that?
Fucking Mark Tremonti is a great guitar player, and he was stuck in that horseshit band. And then he goes and he makes another different horseshit band. It's like he's just stuck in horseshit bands.
What band did he do after that?
He did Alter Bridge.
I don't even know what that is.
They were really bad. But I was thinking, like, Mark Tremonti was, like, one of these, like, super skilled guitar players, like, really technical, really interesting, and he was in a very bad band, and he never got away from that. But that's all I got to say about that.
That Creed talk is so offensive that Chad left, by the way.
He did.
I don't know where he is, so he may or may not come back. Maybe he fell asleep. Maybe his internet pooped out. I don't really know. We always have these problems with Chad. He just disappears. But that's all I got for movies. I watched Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. And that's a good movie. But we should probably talk about the movie that we're here to talk about. What do you think, Jesse?
Yeah, talk about that Christmas vs. Krampus.
Christmas versus Krampus.
Mm-hmm.
That Christmas versus Krampus. All right. Well, we're gonna take a break for a minute, just so I can go get another beer, and so you guys can do what you gotta do. And we'll take this break, and we will come back, and then we will talk all about A Christmas Horror Story. So don't go anywhere, and we'll see you back here in a few minutes. For real.
Joseph's worked up on the ground. I saw his eyes from across the lawn, and oh, my heart was gone. Merry Christmas, I bought you snowman. Merry Christmas, I'm stuck with him. Merry Christmas, I bought you snowman. Merry Christmas, I do it again. I guess they all were horrified. Said the season on demand. They can all just go straight to hell. I told them with one great big yell. Merry Christmas, I bought you snowman. Merry Christmas, I slept with him. Merry Christmas, I bought you snowman. Merry Christmas, I'll do it again. I find like a tin so evergreen. It's your eye and across the leaves. I smashed up all your Christmas plates. For you and yours, I've got only hate. I kissed him on his frosty mouth, and he gave me a great big hug. Now my heart is full of Christmas cheer, almost enough to last all the year. Merry Christmas, I bought you snowman. Merry Christmas, I slept with him. Merry Christmas, I bought you snowman. Merry Christmas, I do it again. Merry Christmas, I bought you snowman. Merry Christmas, I slept with him. Merry Christmas, I bought you snowman. Merry Christmas.
The snow's coming down. I'm watching it fall. Lots of people around. Baby, please come home. The church bells in town are ringing songs. Such a happy sound. Baby, please come home. They'll sing and take the house, but it's not like Christmas at all. I remember when you were here, and all the fun we had last year. Pretty lights on the tree, I'm watching them shine. You should be here with me. Baby, please go home. They're singing take the house, but it's not like Christmas at all. I remember when you were here, and all the fun we had last year. If there was a way to hold back this tear, but it's Christmas Day. Please, please come home. Baby, please come home. Baby, please come home. Oh, baby, please come home. 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 Yeah, yeah, yes. Please come home. Please come home. Baby, please come home.
Merry Christmas. Christmas, most magical time of year.
Tell me we will find the perfect Christmas tree.
It's Christmas. Christmas is all about forgiveness and family and tradition.
Santa, lots of kids are depending on tonight going off without a hit.
But in Bailey Downs this Christmas, it's different.
Exactly 1 year ago, last Christmas Eve, the school was the scene of an unimaginable crime.
You still want to go down there just for some stupid school assignment?
Think it's through any door in the school?
This is Krampus, right?
What's a Krampus?
He's like an anti-Santa Claus, a demon who punishes the naughty. He whips them, chains them up, stuff like that.
That's fun.
It's the elves. I fear they may all become infected. How did it all come to this?
We're trapped down here. There's a psychopath on the loose.
Bring the changeling back to the forest. That ain't your son.
Did you not see what he did?
The atmosphere here in Bailey Downs is truly fitting this holiday season. It's the warm
That war on Christmas, though.
Get your guns ready.
Oh, war on Christmas.
The Invisible War.
And we've got Chad back.
Yeah, I'm back.
Chad, we missed you.
We missed you so hard.
You sound so happy to be
No,
back,
you
Chad.
did not. I hate my computer at this point.
What browser did you
All
end
right,
up
let's
using?
get D's nuts. That's what.
That's not
I'm
a
still
real
using
browser.
Opera.
Opera's
It is if you browse my nuts.
Ugh.
I like Opera. That's the thing. I like it, but
Chrome
my other
son.
ones. Okay, shut up.
Opera was good until it was bought by Facebook.
Oh
And
shit!
then it,
That
and then it
Facebook
got
stuff.
really, really chunky.
Shut
The best. Okay, sorry.
It just let itself go.
The new Internet Explorer is not that bad though. The Edge.
I don't care.
It's still not good.
So anyway,
I don't know.
what you guys
So
heard
what are we
there
talking about?
was the trailer for A Christmas Horror Story, which is a movie that just came out on DVD and Blu-ray this past Tuesday, which was directed by Grant Harvey, Steve Hoban, and Brett Sullivan, and written by a bunch of people. I'm not even going to get into the names. There's like 4, 5, 6 people. But it is essentially, it's an anthology movie, kind of. But I guess Jesse always does so well with the synopses.
Yeah.
So Jesse, do you want to explain to people what A Christmas Horror Story is about without spoiling it?
Okay, so it's sort of a weird movie to consolidate into like a blurb, but more or less, there's this guy, William Shatner, who's running a radio station Christmas night, pulling a double shift, drinking rum and eggnog, and he is playing music, kind of
giving commentary throughout the night, and as he's giving commentary, there are these other stories that are going on. One involves Santa in his workshop. Another are some kids investigating a murder scene in their school a year later. Another one is a family who is visiting a relative who believes in Krampus. And is there 4 or 3 stories?
I think it's 4, maybe even 5, because there's kind of the wraparound, but
but I'm trying to.
Like I didn't really count, and that's why I was saying it's not necessarily like the same as a lot of the other, anthologies that we usually see where you can very easily count.
Okay, I'm sorry. And then there's one where the kid gets weird.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which is kind of funny because, again, without spoiling anything, it kind of is related at the end of the day to another movie that we just watched.
Yes.
Not like actually spun off from it, but as far as thematically, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which I thought was a little weird.
And all of these stories are not necessarily connected. The only real connective tissue, kind of like in Tales of Halloween, is the radio host. And
well, that's not necessarily true, because there are characters, and it wasn't obvious to me until I watched the making of. But there are characters. So, like you were talking about the one with the kid.
Mm-hmm.
The father in that segment is actually the policeman.
Oh, right, the policeman in the other movie.
Which is what caused his marriage problems, apparently.
Right.
But it's not obvious. Like, I didn't catch that when I watched it. I did not catch it whatsoever because he shows up for like 2 seconds. So.
Well, I remember taking note of that, and so I don't want to like jump into what I like had issue with the movie first, because I actually really liked this movie. But for me, like, it was kind of a jarring experience because I was spending a lot of time trying to figure out how all of the stories were going. Like, I thought there were like 4 different stories going on that were going to like coincide, like they're gonna like come together at the end, and I didn't realize that it was more of like just separate stories as an anthology. So I felt like really scattered when I was watching it at first because it was kind of going back and forth, and like the tone kind of kept shifting a little bit, and all these different sort of weird stories were going on, and I didn't know if they were connected. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, I hear you.
So like the whole thing with the kids, the documentary kids who are investigating their school from this murder that happened a year before, and the black cop who is in the footage of the scene of the investigation is part of the story of him cutting down a tree with his son, and I thought that those stories would come together because I thought that's how it would happen, but it didn't, and I was spending too much of my viewing time thinking of how this was going to all come together, and not just kind of like letting go and enjoying each segment as each segment. And it's not necessarily clear from the get-go that it's if you don't necessarily know that it is anthology, but once you kind of get past that, it's fine. But that was one of my issues was it just felt really scattered at first if you didn't really understand that they were just separate entities almost that were sort of connected, but don't really worry about that. Just worry about they're trying to tell their own story.
Right, and that's I guess that's one of the things like I was kind of talking about where I almost feel like if they hadn't been beholden to trying to keep this all, make it interconnected other than, hey, this is happening in the same town, which would have been fine. I almost feel like that would have been better.
Mm-hmm.
Just because as soon as you start trying to make things connected, then you start making people have to try to because you have no choice but to look at it and try to process it and try to figure out how everything goes together when it kind of really doesn't. or when it does, it's so difficult to actually put together that it detracts from your viewing experience. But I mean, I guess I'll get into my opinion after the fact. But Chad, what did you think? What did you think about all this?
I enjoyed it. I liked it a lot more than I liked Tales of Halloween. I thought that I thought it was shot well. It looks really good. I think that it's
Great
really
effects.
good. Yeah, really good effects. I thought that it was, I really enjoyed it. I could see this becoming not like a new, I could see this becoming like a new cult favorite. I hate that term, but I could see it, becoming a new tradition for a lot of fans that, want to watch a new horror movie every year, and they'd probably grab this off the shelf like right after they'd watch Trick or Treat or Tales from Halloween, or if they like Tales of Halloween. I don't know what the percentage of people who'd like that is, but I really enjoyed it. I thought, and honestly, I was telling Jesse this earlier. I can't stand William Shatner. I've never really found him that entertaining. This is the most I've been able to tolerate him, and he wasn't even really in it that long. I thought, and to be completely honest, I thought he was pretty good in this. I don't think that he was terrible. I think that it was a fun one. I think that there was a little humor here and there, which is always easy. It always helps. Especially in horror. I think sometimes, and especially in an anthology movie. I did like how they went from one story to the other and still kind of made it, still made it watchable. Whereas if they had just like shown them, the stories over and over, I don't think it would have been as effective. Like just jump from one story to the next.
Right. No, I agree. It was a little bit. I was trying to figure that out, and I think you're right. I think the effects are really good. I think the only thing that was a little bit jarring was like towards the beginning when they're doing the intro, like they get a little bit overzealous.
Yeah, like a little
trying to show the like 1995 like CGI like fucking video game graphics.
Look like a PlayStation.
PlayStation 2 maybe.
Maybe PlayStation 2
Maybe.
Legacy of Kain game.
Yeah, like where they're doing that, and it's like, come on, guys. Like I get it, you guys are trying to make this shit look all epic, right? But it's like you don't need to do
a copy of Mega Race.
Yeah, I mean you don't need to do that. At the end of the day, things play out in there, but they don't really. I don't know what that added to it, other than, hey, like we got this version of Carol of the Bells that's pretty cool sounding, and we want to have a big fucking thing to happen. But I wasn't sure how it was going, because I mean, so there's a few things about this movie that had me a little bit wary going in. For one, again, lately when I hear anthology movie, I instantly start to brace myself for awfulness, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because, like I said, quite frankly, more often than not, anthology movies are just like excuses for people who don't really know how to make movies to try to make short ones and stick them together, it feels like a lot of times. And that's how you get things like Nightmare Alley. Jesse knows what I'm talking about, right?
A Nightmare Alley, though?
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever seen that. What's that?
I'm not gonna get into that here, but that's
It sounds like porn again, is it? I'm not looking up like Lisa.
No,
this one. Never mind.
It was a thing that happened back in the day with the Liberal Dead, where the people who made it sent it in, and then it got a negative review, and they were not happy with it, to the point where they were commenting on it and getting into arguments with people on the website, like in the comments.
It's not the movie from the 40s, right?
No.
Okay.
It's from like 2010.
I can't find a thing about
Scarlet
this.
Fry. That's all I gotta say.
Scarlet Fry.
Scarlet Fry. But anyway,
classic.
yeah, exactly. But anyway, so that was part of it. The other thing is, to be honest, I mean this is released through RLJ/Image Entertainment. They put out a lot of crap. And I'm not going to really mince words with that because, I mean, some good stuff comes through, but a lot of the stuff that they release is, in my opinion, not very good. So I'm always a little bit wary. They have done Adam Green's last few things and a few other things that are actually that I liked enough, but I get wary, right? Like I see that name and I'm like, this could go either way. I could either be okay with it or it's just gonna be a steaming hunk of crap. So I was a little bit wary about that, and then I was kind of like the name. I'm like, A Christmas Horror Story and the Krampus, and that's the other thing. I mean, like I said, at this point, when you see Krampus on something, you gotta be like, well, everybody's trying to fucking stick Krampus in a movie.
That was like a sci-fi movie?
Yeah, exactly. Like, is it going to be all right? And then all you can see is a few stills, and then you're like, well, wait a minute, William Shatner's in this. That doesn't sound like a good thing either. So, I'll be honest. Like, I had a bunch of reservations about it, but I heard some good things, and I think the Blu-ray was only like $14 or whatever, so I was stopping in at Best Buy anyway earlier in the week, and I was just like, fuck it. Like, I'll pick it up. I was kind of hoping it would go on sale for like $10 because a lot of the RLJ stuff at like Best Buy has been like $10 on sale when it comes out. So I was hoping it'd be 10, but it was 15, and I was just like, well, I've heard enough good stuff, and quite frankly, like, we need more Christmas horror movies. Like, we don't really get that many, right? These days. So, and I'm all about that because like Christmas season comes and it's like, I mean, I love my staple movies that I watch, every Christmas season and whatnot, but I want more variety to choose from. So I was like, all right, well, I could check this out, and I had heard a few okay things that played at Toronto After Dark and whatnot. So I bought it, checked it out, watched it. I actually watched this movie with my son. Believe it or not. He's only 4. So he was a little confused, but he was like, what is this movie? And I was like, well, it's Santa Claus fighting bad guys, because you look at the cover, and the cover's pretty cool. It's like fucking Santa Claus like fighting Krampus, basically.
It looks like a Masters of the Universe image.
It kind of does. And that's how I kind of just explained it to him, and he's like, well, is this scary? Because he heard some of the music and stuff, and I was like, no, it's not scary, it's all just make-believe. And Santa Claus is fighting the bad guys, so it has to, Santa Claus is going to win, right? And so I'm trying to explain this to him, and I'm just like, because I was home with him today, and I didn't actually get a chance to watch it until today, and I was like, oh, hopefully this isn't too bad. And I think the only thing that really happened out of that was a little bit awkward was when he said, Daddy, that man looks funny when he's naked. And it's because he's talking about that chick.
Oh.
Shower. In the one story. But and I had to explain to him that that's not a man. That's a woman. And
That's
he's like,
not a
why is she
man.
naked? I'm like, just gotta take a shower, man. It happens. So that was a little bit weird. But other than that, it wasn't too much. There was one other thing that he questioned me on, but I'm not going to talk about it because I think it would go into spoilers. And we'll talk about it when we get to the very end. But, I watched it, I checked it out, and, it was good. I think, like Jesse was saying, it's kind of reaching a little bit in the whole, like, I feel a little bit like it was forced to try to make everything connect to each other. I don't think they necessarily needed that. I mean, I appreciate the fact that they set this in like one town to try to do all that and kind of build this world. But I don't know if they necessarily needed to try to throw in like all the callbacks so that somehow tangentially, be it somebody looking at a picture or something along those lines, that hey, these people have all met each other before, because at the end of the day, like, their stories don't really ever intercross for the most part.
Mm-mm.
The wraparound does, in a weird way, and in a way that you wouldn't necessarily expect. Again, without getting into details.
But it has very little to do with everything else.
Yeah, and that piece, like that ultimate piece, doesn't tie in with any of the other stories really at all. Like, it's almost like they could have done whatever they wanted, and one of the stories that you thought was a story is actually part of the wraparound. And I don't think that's a spoiler, but it's a little bit weird. And then when you see it, it's kind of like, oh, and it kind of. So the other thing is, this movie is, like, I've heard people kind of compare it to Trick or Treat, and I don't think that's an apt comparison. Again, partially because Trick or Treat is just, in my opinion, like, pretty perfect, but also just because Trick or Treat is kind of fun, like very fun. And at the end of the day, like, I mean, this movie was kind of fun for a bit, and then some stuff happens, and then it's just the complete opposite of fun. Because when you see what's actually going on, you're just like, wait, that's awful. And again, I can't get really into the details of it, but I don't think this movie has any of that fun. But what it does have is Christmas atmosphere, right? What?
I just farted and it smells terrible.
Oh, I thought you were. It's like this whole time I'm like, is Chad like? Am I giving a terrible synopsis here? Jesus. Oh, dude, when your own farts
through the phone.
Dude, when your fucking own farts are making you gag, that's when you know you need to fix something in your life.
In your diet.
We had pizza.
Oh, Jesus.
Maybe you're lactose intolerant.
It's very possible.
Very possible. Look, I'm sorry. I really did not mean to. I really did not mean to hijack this.
No,
I
it's
do
all
apologize.
right.
Continue, man.
It's all right.
And I'm not going to tell you to edit it out either.
Oh, I'm not going to. Like, that's part of the whole process of this these days. Is I just throw the whole fucking file out there pretty much as it is, unless shit like completely breaks, like it did with Jesse and I the one night. But yeah, no, I mean, it has the Christmas. I keep saying Christmas.
That Christmas.
Wait a minute.
Christmas. Yeah, dude, it's like fucking gang story. It's like It's a Wonderful Life except with a gang member. No, but it does have the Christmas atmosphere though. I think in a lot of ways. I mean, you get a lot of the lights. You definitely get the setting, and I think that counts for something, right? It's not as highly stylized as something like Trick or Treat, but I mean, there's few actually. Like, if you really think about like Christmas horror movies, there's not really a lot of them that do. Actually, the most probably the Christmas horror movie that goes the most out of its way to really just do that whole like colored lights and just really do that Christmas feeling is the Black Christmas remake. Which everybody fucking hates, but I actually kind of really like it. It's nasty and it's mean and it's ridiculous and it took, like, I'll be honest, like that movie for the first several times that I tried watching it, like I just hated it, and then all of a sudden, like one day I just was like, like I actually kind of really like the fact that they just tried to fucking take this and just make it as ridiculous as possible.
I didn't mind it. I thought it was pretty good movie for what it was.
Yeah, but I mean, this movie doesn't get to that kind of level of cinematography, let's say, but the effects in it are good. Pretty much everything about it is good. There's some funny stuff, and like I said, the mood kind of seems light, but then I think ultimately where it goes is not necessarily on that same level. So I think there are some tonal inconsistencies, but overall, I think it's a good movie. And it's
good
one
for
that
the season. It's a good horror movie for the season, and
yeah,
it's got some weight to it. I liked it. It's cool.
Gets you hyped up. It gets you in the mood for Christmas.
Yeah, like I will definitely, like, I'm glad that I purchased this, and because I was thinking about renting it because it's only like $4 I think to rent it. but I'm glad that I purchased it, and I will be watching it in the future for other Christmas seasons. So I guess that's my overall. Did you guys have anything else that you wanted to mention about it before we kind of talk about spoiler type stuff?
Not really.
Okay. Well, with that being said, we are going to talk about spoilers. So really quick, if you don't want to hear the spoilers for this, you don't want to know what happens at the end of the movie or anything like that, then you should probably shut this off. But before we do that, we always do the whole plug. Go to deadairpodcast.net, look us up on iTunes, leave us a review, yada, yada, yada. And most importantly, just make sure you follow us on Twitter, which I'm at deadairjeff. Jesse is at DestroySuperman. Chad is at HorrorMovieBBQ.
Meow.
So, with that being said, if you're tuning out, we will be back next week to hopefully review Krampus and lots of other shows and stuff coming up. So, if you have not seen this movie and you don't want to hear about the end of a Christmas horror story, then you should, go away now. Because we're
and don't motherfucking die.
Yeah.
So, at this point, I will assume that everybody has seen this or doesn't give a shit about being spoiled. So,
hey guys.
Specifically, the ending of the film, right? So, I guess, Jesse, do you want to lead things off here with, I guess, getting the discussion going around this? I don't know how to really bring it up without just straight up being like, hey, this happens.
So, a dude that's in the recording studio at the beginning of the movie is a guy who will go on a rampage in a mall in the area, and which is, in his mind, a hallucination of what you see to be the Santa versus Krampus story.
Well, I would actually say it's Santa versus zombie elves, and then
Zombie elves, yeah, and Krampus.
Yeah, well, the Krampus part, that's the whole thing that I was waiting for, and that's the whole thing my kid was waiting for, was for Santa Claus to fight, quote unquote, the bad guy. That's what my son was calling him, because I didn't really want to explain to him that there's this other Christmas devil that just takes bad children and beats them and whips them with chains and puts them in his sack and runs off. Because he's a little bit young for that. But you don't really get that until the very end, when it's like all of a sudden Santa's about to face off with that dude, and then you just realize it's his boss. Because he's about to bury a fucking axe in his skull. Which is, at first kind of funny, but then, they kind of start, flashing back to stuff, and you realize what's going on, and you're just like, this is super depressing.
Right. This is horrifying.
Really fucking horror.
Mental illness.
Completely out of tone with the rest of the movie. Am I wrong in that, though?
No, and then it just sort of ends very abruptly, and you're like, what, huh, what? Okay.
What happened? Where'd you go?
Don't they just, shoot the fuck out of him?
Mm-hmm.
Because at first you, you kind of get the thing, and you realize that he's looking back, and he's like, wait a minute, I did all of these things. And you think for a minute that he's going to be like, oh, what have I done? But then he's like, nah, fuck it. I'm just still going to try to kill this guy.
Some people.
And then the cops just blow the fuck out of him.
Whoa.
Well,
I've seen that movie.
You've seen that movie? A Christmas horror.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
But yeah, so obviously the ending here is they're trying to flip the script on you, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you guys think that works in favor of the movie, or?
Yes.
Yeah?
I think so. Yeah. I'm sure. And go ahead, Jesse.
No, I think it's good, but I think it just ends so unceremoniously. Like it just kind of cuts to black, and then that's it. And then you get some outtakes with William Shatner, and
Oh,
that's
that was the other fucking thing.
right.
Like, because of the tonal thing. So you get the shit that goes from there to super serious, and then you have William Shatner in outtakes that are like, hey, look, William Shatner is racist, LOL. Like, am I wrong? Like,
No, William Shatner's totally an asshole.
I know, but I mean, am I wrong that just feels like just really weird?
Yeah, I think they just didn't know how to either tie them together or how to end this movie, and or there were cuts or whatever. We don't really know, but it doesn't. It almost feels like 3/4 of a product in the end or something. Like it just there's something missing.
Well, let me tell you, trying to explain to your 4-year-old why Santa Claus was just killing a bunch of people is not exactly the easiest, because he's like, he goes to me. Oh, I'm parent of the year apparently. But he goes to me and he goes, Daddy, what just happened? And I'm like, what? And he's like, what? He's like, that man's not Santa Claus. He's a bad man. I said, yeah, that's not Santa Claus. I was like, that's just somebody pretending to be Santa Claus because he's not nice. He's like, what is he doing? Why is he doing? And I'm like, I don't really know why he's doing that. He's obviously just very sick. Because I honestly, I couldn't. I mean, they didn't really ever give a reason, right? Other than the fact that this dude just had a fucking snap at some point and was like, yo, fuck Christmas.
Yeah, and then he's like hallucinating and seeing things.
I'm just gonna go, like, put on a Santa Claus suit and go to the mall and fucking, like, kill everybody that I can find.
Which, if you think about it, it's kind of Silent Night, Deadly Night 1-ish.
Oh,
Yeah.
I mean, for sure, to a point. Like, there was it was weird because it was almost like, hey, look, it's bad Santa. Like, except he murders people instead of just telling them to go fuck themselves. And I don't know, it's not that I didn't like it. It's just weird. Like, it feels tonally out of place. I don't know. I have a problem with it just because of that, because I feel like the rest of the stuff where I'm kind of like either giggling or just being like, oh, well, that's kind of fucked up and neat, is like this one is just a little bit too, especially in like today's climate, like it just feels a little bit too much like that could actually kind of happen.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Yeah,
And everything else is so fantastical, right? And that's just straight up, look, mental illness. So I don't know.
Yay, bipolar.
But what did you guys think about the Changeling story?
Um,
Because to me, I was just like, didn't I just watch The Hollow? Like,
kinda. Like it was the Hollow, but without like baby Groots running around stealing fucking shit up.
well, right, but they straight up, they had the thing where it's like, that's not your child.
Yeah,
That's a
yeah.
fucking changeling.
Like a troll, yeah.
Yeah, like a troll from the fucking woods and shit, and she has to bring it back and whatnot, and it fucking like murders the father and just like puts him in the fucking corner under the tree.
Yeah. And cuts off his hand.
Yeah, like it just, that felt a little bit weird, and like I said, I didn't make that connection that, oh, that's the guy from the other story, and that's why he's all fucked up. Like, I was like, what is wrong with these two? Because this dude's like trying to bang his wife, and she's just like, nah, bro.
She's not about it.
No, bro, I don't need that dick.
That's just called marriage.
Pretty much.
Ooh,
Damn, Chad, you got a bright future ahead of you.
Jesse ain't lying. Like, that is called marriage.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
So yeah, I don't know. Like, I mean, I don't know. Like, that shit was a little bit weird too, though. The fucking tree looked like a vagina.
Everything in this movie looked like a vagina.
I don't know about that. That old man's beard, though. Those elves though, that shit was like, that's the other thing that was a little bit weird. Like I'm watching it with my kid, and all of a sudden the elf is like calling him a fucking cunt.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I really hope he doesn't ask about this.
Good stuff.
The rest of it was alright with it. I don't know. He didn't seem to have too much problems with it. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, anything else that you wanted to talk about other than, hey, tonal shift is weird? I
No,
mean, do you think did you think that the movie was better with that, or do you think that it would have?
No, I don't.
Did it
It does.
benefit?
No, I think it suffers from the problem that I have with a lot of, recent anthologies. It just doesn't feel very cohesive or on point. It just, there's something very. It like I said, it feels like 3/4 of a tank of gas. Like it just doesn't feel like it has enough power. But that doesn't mean I dislike it. I think it's really weird. Like it's a really weird anthology for sure. It's one of the weirder ones I've seen. But I like that about it, and I like that it's weird, and I like that it's Christmas themed, and I think it does a good job. And I think the stories on their own are really interesting, but all together in sort of a package is, I don't know. I don't know if that completely works, but yeah.
And I believe that, I mean, it's a little bit weird. So the people behind it, and this is maybe it's where they get some of it, but like Stephen Hoban, who's one of the directors on here, he was a producer on the Black Christmas remake. A lot of these people were involved with the Ginger Snaps movies.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a lot of like Canadian influence on here, and I think that Bailey Downs is the town in Ginger Snaps. I think.
Huh.
Right off the top of my head, I can't confirm, but I know that
I tried
some,
watching that a long time ago. I don't remember giving two shits.
Yeah, but that's just because you were also tainted by a certain someone who was offering you popcorn if you watched it.
Damn.
Are you calling me fat? That's it. I'm leaving the internet forever.
You sexy dog. Come back.
But a lot of these folks were
You guys
involved
don't
in that
understand.
series. And that series is pretty good. Like the first movie, I really like the first Ginger Snaps quite a bit. Ginger Snaps 2 is a little bit different, and then the fucking third Ginger Snaps is weird because it's kind of a prequel, but with the same people in it in a different time zone, so it almost feels like one of the stories from like Waxworks or something.
Hey Galligan though, holla at you, Stacy.
Yeah, for real. But I don't know. I mean, I think that's worth at least bringing up the fact that these folks were involved in that, and I think that that's maybe why this movie works pretty well. I mean, they have a pretty good pedigree of stuff behind them, and so they're not just like first-time people that have never done anything, right? Some of them might be directing, when they haven't directed as much, and a lot of them have done a lot of TV stuff, but obviously they have experience, and I think that counts. And I mean, at the end of the day, though, I mean, the poster is enough to make most people watch this, I think.
Yeah.
The box art, fucking Santa Claus fighting Krampus, and that Krampus story is actually pretty solid.
Mm-hmm.
Except for the fact that they all of a sudden are like, actually, like, he's not a good boy. He's a serial killer in training.
He's an asshole.
They're like, yeah, when I found him in the garage with a cat in a bag, and I was like, come on, like, that's pretty abrupt. So basically, the moral of these stories is all just everybody's an asshole, except for that one cop whose family just gets fucked over.
Yeah.
But everybody else is kind of an asshole, right?
Sure.
We're mentally ill.
Who isn't at this point?
So yeah, I don't know. I don't think it's a fun movie, but I think it's worth recommending. So. All right. Unless you guys got anything, I think it's probably about time to call it, right?
Yep. Yeah, bruh.
Yeah, bruh.
You live,
bruh.
Yo, Yoshi's Woolly World's alright.
That Woolly World.
Yo, hey,
Kid,
by
your
the way,
kid. What's up?
what that tweet you posted about motherfuckers say Mario Force? What did that come from?
Just some forum somewhere. I saw
What?
it.
Did I miss something?
Just a tweet that went out
When?
earlier.
What did it say? Come on, you can't.
It
Oh
said
well,
something.
okay. Wait, like, I gotta. It's something you gotta look at to really, because of the way it is. But it said it was from a GameFAQs forum, but it says, "Don't you fucking hate on Mario Party 4? I swear to God, I will." And then in brackets it says redacted. It's just funny. But anyways, your kid would like Yoshi's Woolly World, and there's a thing called mellow mode, which allows you to it gives you extra hearts and allows you to fly through the level if it's too tough for them, and you can play co-op with them too. So Gage would totally be into that.
All right, right on.
And it looks cute. You get to use yarn balls.
I'm fully intend on purchasing it for a Christmas present for the household.
And you get to use your tongue to unzip yarn, and it's cute and just cute and.
And when I say Christmas present for the household, I mostly mean for me, so that he can watch me play it, because he's too young to really play the games yet.
Well, he likes Super Mario 3D World, right?
Oh, he likes that. He loves Super Mario Wii. He loves all the Mario stuff. Like, I was playing the original Super Mario Brothers because I purchased it for Virtual Console, and I was playing it. My wife was like, she's like, this game is so easy compared to the new ones. And I was like, are you kidding me? They give you 3 lives and tell you to make it through 8 levels of 4 or 8 worlds of 4 levels each. Like, this game is no fucking joke. I was like, you can make it to world 8 if you cheat and use the fucking warps to go through 2 boards, and then you're at the very end. But I was like, I dare you to try to even get past level 8-1.
Right.
Because they got that fucking jump where it's and I was like, number one, I can't play it on the fucking Virtual Console because the controls are nowhere near as responsive as they need to be. So you're trying to make that jump, and no matter what, you always don't time it right. Like, it was almost easier to do it on the old Nintendo when everything was lagged and you were used to it. But now we're so used to responsive controls.
Right.
That you go back and you're like, fuck. And I was like, even if you can pass that one, you still got 3 more levels you have to go through. I've beaten it, but I was like, if you can beat this game on 3 lives, because they didn't give you continues. If you can do that, then you are fucking the man to go through every single level one after the other. So I was like, this game is not easy. But my kid was watching that, and he was liking it. But he was watching me play New Super Mario Brothers 2 for the DS, 3DS earlier today too. He's like, "What are you doing?" I was like, "I'm trying to get all the coins," because I already beat the game. So, but yeah, no, he likes that shit. So I was gonna probably pick up Woolly World.
Yeah, he'll that's something he could play too, and it's really pretty. It's a pretty game.
I mean, as far as video games that are not suitable for children go, I did purchase. Best Buy had a bunch of stuff on sale last night, and I did pick up what's it called, Until Dawn.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I picked that up because it was only $19.
I heard that's great. I haven't played it.
Yeah, that's what it looked like. I mean, it was written by. When I found out it was written by Larry Fessenden, I was like, oh shit, I gotta check this out. Larry Fessenden's awesome.
It's sort of like a classic, walk around the room, hit A to examine object kind of game, which I kind of really dig.
It also seemed pretty cool because it was like, hey, everybody's out in the snow, and this is set in winter, and you're kind of fucked. I was looking at the graphics, and everybody was saying good stuff about it. I was like, $19, I might as well pick it up.
Yeah.
Check it out. So I did that, but yeah. Anyway, okay, cool. Well, hopefully you guys enjoyed the show. We will see you back here in about a week to talk about that Krampus.
Oh shit!
That Krampus though.
And yeah, it's been fun. So thanks, Chad. Thanks, Jesse. Make sure that you go to horrormoviebarbecue.com to check out Chad's stuff. For Jesse, just look up Destroy Superman on Google and pretty much just click on whatever you want.
Enjoy whatever comes up.
If your computer gets infected with AIDS, don't blame me.
It already has.
And like I said, I am at Dead Air Jeff, so you can check me out on Twitter. And of course, follow all of our podcast stuff, deadairpodcast.net. And we'll see you back here on Friday. So thanks, guys. Have a good night. And until next week, don't fucking die. Don't die. Bye.
See you tomorrow, Jeff.
Later.
See you later, Jesse.
Bye, handsome.
See you, sexy.
It's Christmas morning. Those out that long since gone. Oh, stockings on bottle casts. Reason falls no longer there. 6 feet Just last year I died with the 11.